Everyone, today on Eating While Standing, we are interviewing a guy who knows a guy that had relations with a gourd. We'll be talking all about his travels as a touring chef, and he is currently the head chef at Century House here in Woodstock, Georgia. Please welcome Chef Brian.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, we got Chef Brian on today. He's going to tell us a little bit of his life and how he got started and where he got the culinary bug and why he loves it so much. And
now, we were going to, we didn't write this down, but all right. So tell us a little bit. Okay, so how long you been in the business?
I have been in the business since I was 23. So I am now 37. That's 14 years.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, nice, yeah.
I was in pest control, and I did not enjoy the way my life was going. I was destined to be a chef, so I stopped doing that. Went to culinary school at Chattahoochee Tech. Quickly got an internship with a catering company in Atlanta, and we were doing backstage catering for different concerts. Got in good with Live Nation, and started traveling with different bands and feeding all the video, light, sound guys, the whole crew that travels with the band that people forget about, the real ones who make the concerts go on.
Yeah.
The crews.
The behind the scenes guys.
We would feed the artists as well, but our main focus was, other roadies. They become your family. So I did that for about 8 years, and then my wife got pregnant, and the roadie life was no longer my life. So got off the road, became an executive chef at a country club. Did that for about
easy money.
5 years. Yeah, easy money.
That's what we in the chef industry call easy money.
You're
retirement
constantly busy, getting pulled in different directions. You got tournaments, you got weddings, you got a restaurant to run, you got different
BOs, you got all that.
You got event nights, you got pasta night,
you got about 14
night.
clipboards up on the wall and about 3 or 4 dry erase marker boards.
A lot of country clubs will close for 1 day a week, and it really helps out ours to not. It was a very stressful job. I worked hard, made a lot of good friends, made a lot of good food, and then left there, was with another catering company where I crossed paths with, not knowing, Sean Paul, who would later become my sous chef. After that, a local restaurant in downtown Woodstock, a great family area, they were looking for a head chef, so I applied there. I'm currently there, and there almost 2 years now, and I really enjoy it. It's only owned by one guy, and he's great. He gives me all the support in the world, and I'm able to do what I'm passionate about in the community where I'm raising my family. So that pays more than any salary will ever. So
yeah, for
sure.
chefs,
that's
have
awesome.
a balance of life and work at the same time. Yep.
And Sean Paul was with me for 6 months, 8 months, something like that. And
December to
great relationship.
July.
He was working at a restaurant next to mine, and his wife was working at my restaurant. And we crossed paths a little bit. I was like, I would love for you to come work with me before you retire.
I just show up the back door and get jobs, bro. I just work next to somebody, and they're like, hey.
So he came, he joined the team, and I think since then we really turned the place around. There was, some things I went on before I got there.
That's a good story about me and you, how we really first met, when the chef was over there and you were just talking to the chef, and I was down cleaning the low boys, and I heard him talking. I'm like, oh, you're hiring, huh?
Yeah.
Right in front of the chef that we all know is
he didn't really enjoy working for that chef.
Yeah. Right?
So
and
that chef was like, hey,
okay.
take him.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did it.
Yeah.
Right in front of me.
Sean Paul was like
next day I was over there talking to this full dog.
Oh.
Next day, just went over there. I was like, hey, you serious about that job? What's it pay? And he was like this. I was like, bet. Put my 2 weeks in over at restaurant A and went over to restaurant B. And ended my chef career on such a great note. It was such a great opportunity working with Chef Brian, I missed that kitchen. I showed up the other day for brunch. He invited me up for brunch. I was like, man, I miss all you guys so much.
And I think that heavily ties back into our philosophy of running a positive vibes in the kitchen.
Yes.
Keeping the vibes up.
Yes.
Making sure everybody's enjoying their job. My cooks now are constantly creating. Every night they're bringing me new stuff. It just is a good culture. And I really enjoy that about where I'm at right now. Leaning on some brand new line cook who's got weird ideas, but some of those weird ideas work.
They work.
And
Yeah, you never
and
know.
you'll take it. So
They work.
I've learned from from the guy in the dish pit,
Or even
to-
getting inspired by his not so great thing. Like, you
Yeah.
did something, you were on this something, but
Yeah.
like,
I can finish this.
I can finish
I
this.
can finish this.
I like where you're going, kid. I'm stealing this. I'm just
Yeah.
letting you. I always let people know I'm stealing their stuff. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm stealing it. I'm not shy about that at all. I think
Nobody's
all,
original
yeah,
anymore,
no one.
right?
All chefs
Yeah.
should be sharing, not really stealing. When I
Absolutely.
say that, but it's better to be honest with somebody instead of being like, "Oh, this is mine." Like, no, I got inspired by this. That's
Yeah.
how you came up with yours.
And that's like the wine
But
dinner
be
we
honest.
did, the collaborative
Yeah.
wine dinner. We
Yeah.
did a 10-course wine dinner,
yeah.
and all my guys each did a dish. So Sean Paul did two or
I
three.
did too. I did too.
And we had the community out, and everybody got to go out to the
That was
tables.
a fun.
Is this
time.
where you did the caviar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where
All boiled
I
caviar.
practiced on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I did the Spanish olive caviar.
there it is.
It was
Yeah.
nice.
And I let all my cooks go to the tables, talk to them, tell them where the ideas came from, how they
Yeah.
made it,
yeah,
and giving those guys the pride, and really giving the food to them. It shows
absolutely.
to the customers. They can feel the love. So that's definitely my philosophy when it comes to running a kitchen. Want to be collaborative, positive. I do have to yell sometimes. Yes,
Absolutely.
things get a little frantic.
Absolutely.
I don't mean it. I'm
Gotta
sorry.
light that
I
fire.
love you.
Hey,
But-
lighting fires.
that's just the kitchen, honestly. It's, like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like you all yell at each other. We all yell at each other. And at the very end of the day, it's like we all apologize
Yep.
and go grab a beer.
Yep.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And the ones who can't do that don't last long.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah.
It's gonna be tough for you to make in this industry.
Yeah.
You'll work for some high HR people. Don't go try to go
Yeah.
to the mom and pop.
That's why a lot of restaurants don't have HRs. I
Yeah.
mean, like, honestly, it's just like
Yeah.
they couldn't handle
HR
it.
nightmare.
Yeah.
I know some guys who
Yeah.
are intentionally an HR.
Yes.
So,
Hey, we were on my HR department. Me and when I worked at the hotel, we were on a first name basis.
They had a whole box full
Yeah.
of like your shit.
All kinds of them. It got so fun. I got so good at write ups that like where they let you write a comment, I would write comments every time. Sometimes just writing comments because that's all filed away, Like, but no one ever looks at it. So you could write little fun comments like, "I really enjoyed this day. I was having a really good day until this happened."
the next chef,
And I write it in it because usually when you get a write up, like most people are like, "Nah, I got nothing to say." Not me. I had something to say.
the next chef that comes in, super serious. He's
Yep.
going through everybody's files. Sean Paul. What?
Yeah, who's this guy? I was having a good day until this happened.
Right on.
It was one of my favorite ones. I was like, that was pretty clever.
that was clever. I feel like you were just honestly. I don't even think you were trying to be clever at that
No.
point. I think honestly he was just being honest. He was just
yeah.
like writing his daily, like he was writing in his diary or something like that.
Yes.
You just hear it as like a monologue at the beginning of a movie. It's just like, so
Oh, I've
today
done that.
started so great, but then all of a sudden Greg decided to get all up in my business.
That is almost how it went without the voice, but yes.
That was
Yes.
definitely your voice.
Because I had to tell stories about how, like, well, this is how I saw it and my perspective of it, saying, like, this person's just being a little bitch and can't handle the joke. Like, I had a kid call the chef. The chef went to the hospital because he had a pancreatitis. So the chef was on his way to the hospital. And I had to jump in and help this kid out on the station. And I made that comment, saying, don't trip and shoot yourself in the kitchen. And it's an old saying. I don't know. I've been saying it for years. Like, don't trip and shoot yourself, and then all of a sudden you're hobbling around. Like, don't chitter Bob. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Right? He took it as I was threatening to shoot him. He thought I had a gun.
Wow.
So he called the chef up and was like, Sean Paul threatened to shoot me in the kitchen.
Wow.
And I had to write on a piece of paper, no, chef, this is what happened. I said, don't trip and shoot yourself in the kitchen, because I'm over here trying to help him, but he's like being aggravated
doesn't
and
want
he's
to do
already
it.
in the weeds, and he's trying to dig himself out. But I'm like, look, I'm just here to help.
I
That's
hate
all
when
I-
that line cook decides that they're going to use their pride in those moments
Yes.
and not help. I'm like,
Hey,
I
guilty.
really want to,
I know.
get you out of this hole right
I know.
now.
Yeah.
And
Guilty.
sometimes they'll tell me no, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
too bad.
Yeah,
too bad. I'm here
sometimes it's too
anyways.
bad.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm kind of jealous. In the 12 years I've been in front of house, we build our relationships between each other, between bartenders and servers, because we're all dealing with like customers. We're dealing with that flow. So we all kind of, we
Take
all
your customers.
we all
out on
hunker
each
down
other.
with each other
Yeah.
against the wave of the customers.
Yeah.
but y'all seem to like it's much more nuanced. Like you're dealing with stuff, so you're trying to help each other, but then you yell at each other because you're fucking frustrated. And you get better because of this brotherhood that is built.
Pretty damn good.
Absolutely.
Like I've noticed you guys have far deeper like understanding
Just have a
relationship.
good
Even though
time
you yell at
about
each
it.
other,
Yeah.
it's like a functionally
You fight with the ones you
dysfunctional
love.
family. Yeah.
And I think back
Okay.
of house has to really be cognizant and careful of going up against the front of house because you'll see that situation in a lot of
Yeah.
restaurants.
Yeah.
Where it's
Why
back
can't we
versus
be
front.
friends?
And
Why can't we be friends?
it's definitely something that I've had to focus on in my career because the better that relationship is, the better it is for the customer. So like the same way you say y'all bond together, we bond together against y'all, and then we find ourselves in this weird situation where, well, they're on our team
They're
too.
on our team,
We're
too.
dealing with the customer also as the cook,
Yes.
just in it, the
It's like
telephone
in
thing.
basic training where it's just like, the drill sergeant isn't just there to berate you and be mean to you and to break you down.
Mhm.
He's also there to become the main focus for the entire fucking group of
Yeah.
people to hate equally. It's like,
That's
okay, we all have a common enemy.
all
I don't
do.
give a shit if I don't like you, Terry, but guess what? That's the real enemy. So you and I are going to work together. No more sock parties because that guy's fucking not with us, all right? He's
They're
fucking with all
out
of us.
there and they're hungry.
All right. Shit.
So I'm so sorry, but yeah, you
Not
guys
gonna
are.
like you after this shift, but right now we got to get along,
Yeah,
Terry.
exactly.
Terry, just shut the fuck up and don't talk to me tonight, Terry, and we'll be fucking grown.
Let's just get the food out.
Yep.
Let's sandbag these fucking servers because they just rang everything in at once.
isn't that-
And just like, let's get back at the enemy.
Yes.
Then we're up front, like, all right, get all the hands, busters, get over here. You don't your table, get over here. Everyone,
Yeah.
we're gonna take all this stuff out at once.
They can't say
Show
nothing.
them what's
Nope.
up.
Slam
only
that
that
fucking
hap-
window.
yeah.
And then that
Slam
server
it.
comes in, he's like, you know what? Put 12 plates on that tray. Put them on. I got it. I got it. What,
And
3 different tables? I know they're going.
Better
What's
not
up?
drop them or you're
They're
done.
not dropping and you've been there, and then don't put a single plate on the wrong table, please.
Yeah.
We do not want to remake that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kid put his hand in the macaroni. Fuck!
You're buying me shift beers for a week.
No,
in
it was
advance.
always like that. It's fine.
All right, so let's get back to like your beginnings, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. That's
Like-
probably where a lot of the stories will come from because people don't think about it. They don't know about what goes on behind the curtains of the concert. But there's usually anywhere from 200 to 400 people that are traveling as a village all around the country to put on a show. And for catering, we are the service for everybody to come and to be able to almost feel at home, where they can come, they can get the food they like. We would order snacks for them as well. We made sure they were taken care of. So it was a good relationship where catering really did benefit. It would be probably a team for a tour of about 300. You're looking at a team of about 8 to 10.
Wow, I
you'll
was
usually,
going to ask about that.
yeah, you'll usually have a leader, a guy who's doing most of the financials, and he's making sure that the tour manager is happy with the service they're receiving.
Yep.
So he's the one that has the high level relationship. Everybody else kind of communicates through him.
And do you consider him the chef or like the food and beverage?
No, because it's not
director?
always a food driven person. Sometimes I have
Yeah.
had a front of house driven person.
Okay.
So that role can be a little interchangeable.
Oh.
And it all depends on your kitchen staff and how
Yeah.
strong they are.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of
oh-
people don't realize how many different roles and jobs you can have that's still connected to food and beverage,
Yeah,
but not
Yeah. I mean,
being a
there's
liaison.
dressing room people designated just to
Wow.
doing all the dressing rooms and making sure the artists have all the food, snacks, beverages, blunt wraps, socks, underwear. They
Right.
just
Slip that in there. Just
For-
Back in the
yeah.
80s, it was the
Yeah.
cocaine lines.
so
a little bit of that.
extrapolate,
That's
there is you get what's called a rider for every tour or every show you're going to do, and it has all of their requests, all dietary needs, and
Right.
a lot of them there's dumb
Outside.
things where I'm
M&M's, only green ones.
I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody's heard that story.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
was a certain band in the '90s who was that specific on there because they wanted to know if you were
Uh-huh.
paying attention or not.
Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they
Mm.
Yeah.
like they didn't really care about what color M&Ms you got, but they wanted to know if you were paying attention. So it showed the level of detail that catering crew or that project manager, tour manager, how much dedication they were going to give. So you get a rider, has all the information, how many people you're going to feed. This crew rolls around the whole country. When you go to a city, you also get local help. There'll be some local hands who show up, help unload the trucks, help set up.
Because you're mostly doing major cities and things like that too, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, you do some. I think I was in Idaho one time, and I was like, well, this is not a city.
Idaho.
What?
We're playing for the whole state of Idaho.
Right,
The whole state of Idaho. This isn't a state, is it? Like
dystopia?
this is just a bunch of potatoes and a couple of people.
That's the audience.
The United States is vast. There's a lot of land.
There is.
Yes.
But we would go to every major city, and you get local help. And I would also be the point of contact for Live Nation for the local kitchen help. So they would come to me, hey, we need 3-4 guys. So I usually had friends who'd want to do it too. We would go, we would help. And then I got on with a couple catering companies doing that. They're like, oh, he can actually cook. So you're kind of like a free agent. I was W-10, which was not good because I was working in like 40 states and I had to do taxes and all.
Oh,
40
God, that had to be a
states.
nightmare.
That's a
Yeah.
nightmare,
Yeah. They don't tell you about a couple of those things
Yeah,
when you get into it.
because-
You figure it out later. You're like, wow.
How,
I wish I would have known
would
this.
how long would each tour session be? 3 months, 6 months?
Yes. Yeah, I would say 6 is like a long 3
And that's
months. And
just
there would be
travel.
some breaks in there where you'd get to go home for a week if it lined up correctly. But for the most part, I think 3 months is on the short end. I know Taylor just did like 18 months or something. So when you do a tour like that, it's a different
Whoa.
monster. Yeah, but she also tipped out her whole crew like $14 million or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
something about that.
So,
she did. She like
all
fucking.
right.
She
So-
went all out and like paid her crew
Right.
like a big
So
dollar.
everybody who
Props
was
on
on that
that.
tour got
props on
a
that.
big bonus because they
Yeah.
were selling tickets like crazy, you know. So props on her. But we'd go around, we get local help. So that's how I really get known on more of a nationwide thing. And I got with a company out in LA. And there we would book with different tours. We also did festivals, Electric Daisy Carnival in
How
Vegas.
was it? Was it fun? Were you having a good
Ooh,
time back
Sometimes.
then? You're in your 20s, bro. I
Sometimes,
mean,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, but you were working 16-hour days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, busting ass. You're not cooking for 5 people. You're cooking for 300, sometimes
I
4,000. Like
that was how it was
we were
when I
busting
first
ass.
started my career back in the early 2000s.
I mean, we
you
found
know?
nights to sneak away
Yeah.
and get in trouble.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
usually you paid for it
Yeah.
and you learned your lesson.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the guy who did
wonder.
that too many times he usually got left in a city somewhere and
Yep.
he went back
I
home.
my ass. I
He
would
went
my
back
ass.
home. Yep, there was definitely some guys, at the beginning of a festival got way too fucked up the night before.
You ever
The
get
next
left in
morning,
the
you
city?
see them packing up. Yeah, funny story. I did get left in a city.
How did that?
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
How did you know that?
So,
Talking about other guys. Wait, did it happen? Didn't it happen?
All right.
yeah, not because I was being inappropriate at the moment. I was definitely on my up and
At
up
the moment.
at the moment.
Right.
But Canada's
When the plane
pretty
was boarding.
Canada's pretty strict with their work visas. I had already been in Canada. I had visited Vancouver, and when I tried to go on a work visa, they said no, just because of my past and some transgressions
You got
I may
red
have.
flagged?
No, if you get a DUI, they won't let you
that's
in
right,
on a
that's
work
right.
visa.
That's a lot of countries.
Yeah,
though.
it's because
A
they
lot
want
of
their
countries.
civilians to get those jobs. They don't want other immigrants coming in getting. They're
Okay,
really
yeah.
protective up there.
Hey, respect,
So
whatever.
me and actually the opener for the headliner, pretty famous artist, got stuck because he couldn't go either. So we both got stuck. And,
So the show got canceled then, basically? Or
no,
what?
it was just
No?
the opener. They
Oh,
yeah,
just the
they
opener.
got a local
yeah,
opener
yeah,
and ran.
yeah.
This was a huge
Yeah.
tour. This was a very
Ah.
big tour. So
So they're going on without Chef Brian. The show must go
yeah,
on.
I think I was
Show went on.
second table on that tour. So what normally happens is there's 4 tables, and when you set up your every arena, you roll into, you get all your stuff off a truck, and you set up a kitchen. So
That's,
from scratch.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. You
Yeah.
got butane burners, you got a lot of induction burners,
Yeah.
you got a griddle that's usually electric, a plancha.
About 8 to 10 folding tables.
Yeah, and those folding tables, each
You get
chef
real
gets
good
a
at opening a
station.
folding table.
Yeah,
You can just pick
yeah.
that bitch up
And,
and shake it.
yeah, and we all have the
Just one
yep,
move.
Just
boom, and you have plastic PVC piping, so it raises the table, so you're not hunched over the whole day. So we had
nice.
little tricks like that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and there would
Yeah.
usually be 4 tables. It would be like the head chef or the lead chef for that tour would be table 1. Second would be like his sous. and then 3 and 4 would be the cold prep, morning prep,
Okay.
the local help, and then
Yeah.
the dessert, the pantry chef is what
Yeah.
we called them. They were doing
Yeah, so-
desserts, salads, all the fruit trays, cheese boards. They usually do a lot of the artist stuff because they're getting cheese boards and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, it's usually split among 4 people, and then the lead crew guy, as soon as we get to setting up, he gets in a car with a local runner, a big car, and goes shopping. So usually the night before, we'll send in advance. We'll say, hey, get all the stuff for breakfast. Excuse me. We'll say, get all the stuff for breakfast. They'll go on a pre-run. They will have all the stuff there. So when we walk in and we're setting up and we're cooking breakfast, they're on the road getting lunch and dinner, all the proteins, all that. So when we write our menus, you have all this stuff in mind.
So they're
that there's
shopping
time
locally
frames.
then.
Yes.
Wow.
Usually-
that's
So you
gotta
guys
be
actually like
good.
develop your own menus on the
Yeah.
road as you go.
Yes.
That's
You're
cool.
not traveling with food.
Nope.
You're literally
Yes.
And it all depends on everybody else's skill and what they
Yeah.
bring to the table. Because usually it was
Yeah.
always a collaborative. We'd all get
Yeah.
together.
And you have
at
to
the
know
end of the
what
night with a
different
few
local
beers.
markets are gonna have.
Yeah,
too,
but you
'cause-
learned, like, that's why we also hit Costco's was one where
Ah.
you'll always see your caterers at.
pretty good.
And
yeah.
then
Say.
Food Depot is usually in a
Ah.
lot of cities.
Really?
Yeah, and
They
we
are
even
that
had an
big.
account with them where we'd be able to advance some things to them. Hey, have us this set
And
aside,
they would
this,
have
this,
it
that.
ready to pick up
Right.
for you. Yeah.
So that lead guy's running around doing all that. I mean, literally, I've been a runner before, and you get in the car at 6 a.m. and you're running until that show starts, till about 8. You're in a car,
Wow.
just
you're running,
shopping.
shopping,
Shopping.
grocery shopping for needs. They may need a pipe to set up the stage, the most random shit.
Just
You know?
running around like Paris Hilton,
Huh.
just like, yeah, my God,
Literally.
yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if it's easier
With-
nowadays with all these apps. You know,
with
what I'm saying? 'Cause
wads
you were
of
doing this
cash.
back in the 20s
Yeah,
or
no.
early 2000s.
Yeah, I ran
Yeah.
through. Yeah,
So I think about that now. Like I could just do my Kroger order,
I think
my
my-
Publix order online.
my
and
last
when I
year
get
on the
there, just
road
pick it
was
up.
2017. So that was the last
Yeah.
year I was on the road.
Could you imagine they're just like Instacarting everything
Yeah,
now?
I know, right?
It's-
I wonder how the industry has
now
changed.
instead of you going out as a runner, it's just like a fucking guy from like Uber is just like driving around like, this is hell.
Yeah, I don't
this
think they
is
would do that.
hell.
They-
Until they miss one thing, now you got to go. Now you
Yeah.
got to go pick up whatever they didn't
Yeah.
bring.
I mean, there might be some small things that you do that for, but
Yeah.
the arenas and Live Nation is set up with a group of employees stay locally. They know what they're shopping for. They
Okay.
know
Ah.
they're shopping
Oh,
for
so
a
the local-
concert.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all the they know exactly what you're probably going to need. They've been doing it for years.
Okay.
And it's a tight circle of people, and they make
Nice.
good money. So usually once they get in the trust circle, then you're good to
Yeah,
go.
How much was a position like that back in 2017?
$350 a day,
Wow.
$350 a day. It
Damn.
was on your
Just
high
for
end.
driving around.
Your high end
especially.
runners. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's stressful. I mean, especially in
Stressful.
Atlanta.
Ah,
you're
on a
yeah.
time crunch?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, you start
Oh.
freaking out real quick.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's like the craziest thing you've ever made on the road?
The craziest thing I've ever.
Or like the most creative, like something like that you just would like you wouldn't expect to see.
Yeah. Where did you get inspired at? Because I know you like
Asian.
Asian
Yeah,
cuisine
when
and things like that.
when I was in LA, they have a
Ah.
really bright
Yes, they have the best.
Asian culture.
To
I've
me,
always
it's the
had a draw
best.
to it. I don't know why. The
Maybe,
flavors has always intrigued me. I would say I'm a Southern comfort food chef at heart, and a lot of my cuisine does have some of that fusion.
Yeah.
I like to tie in Asian food or some Latin food. There's some other touches there, but born and raised here in Georgia, sweet tea, fried chicken,
Yeah.
gravy,
Mhm.
like,
So taking those
biscuits,
two cultures
sausage
and
gravy.
back to Zach's question,
which
like
I've taught this LA guy how to make biscuits in about 2 days,
I can make
2
biscuits.
different
now,
days.
dog.
Good for you.
and
I
they're
know.
they're biscuits.
They're biscuits.
They're real biscuits.
They're good.
So, yeah, I guess I got inspired by Emerald as a kid and Paula
Wow.
Dean and all Food Network
Yeah.
really took off when I was,
Yes.
and I'd already known I wanted to be a chef, or
Yes.
I thought I did. And so I'm not late like a lot of them are on the glamour side. I still knew that it took a lot of hard work, and I think it benefits me because I'm as a leader, I lead from the front. Sean will tell you I'll be the first one in there cooking with you, making sure that everything's on point, or taking accountability. So I think that's important in leadership.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sean likes to lead from the back.
we get we got off tangent.
I
We were talking
Do what
about
you do, you know?
the whole
something
load in
good.
process. Yeah, so the guy's shopping for lunch, dinner. We make the menus probably the day before, the night before. The you learn what the tour crew like and what they want. Breakfast is usually the same.
Yeah.
We might do a different breakfast burrito
Breakfast,
or have some
eggs,
different
you know,
touches,
yeah.
and it's full craft service in there. So you got a smoothie machine, a juicer, espresso,
Wow.
coffee. Like it's a nice setup. It's definitely higher than wedding
Yeah.
catering. It's craft
Mhm, yeah.
services, and you can tell that the people, this is kind of how they live their life, off of a bus, in the catering, or barely in a hotel. We usually passed up all of our hotel money to do other stuff. I know one tour we went to different theme parks all around the country as we were traveling. We scheduled theme parks, and the whole catering crew on a day off would go to all the different theme parks, and we all stayed on the bus, and it was tight crew. We all partied together and had a great time. It was like building a new family every time you joined a tour. So it was very
Yeah.
cool. I have lifelong relationships that mean a lot to me, and I learned from a lot of amazing chefs. It was an
Yeah.
opportunity every day to learn from someone new. When we went to EDC, there'd be 100 chefs there. So
Wow.
you're rubbing elbows with that many people, and
Yeah.
you're not learning anything.
Yeah.
You're getting left behind.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was tough. 16
Where I
hours, like I
learned the
said, you're
phrase
pumping a
you
lot of
got-
stuff.
Did you guys ever have like when you're at a festival or something like that? Did you ever have like crew members like jump ship to go join another crew and like kind of trade off?
Not during the middle of a festival, but you definitely have people leave catering to go on the production side. Like they would
Okay.
show off their hard work in catering, maybe doing dressing rooms or working for production, and then get a production assistant position on the next tour. And that's with a
wow.
different company where it's might be straight with the tour or straight with Live Nation, where they now have that contract. But you're on a tour-to-tour contract, so you don't want to burn any bridges like that. And it's a very small world, so if you saw them jump ship over there, you didn't want him on your team. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
yeah, because we could be in the shit and you're not going to be here. So,
You traitor.
very small world.
You're a
Very
damn
small
traitor.
world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, people don't know that it's going on. It takes a lot
Yeah.
of people to make these shows happen.
Yeah.
When we do EDC, we're feeding 4,000 people. That's 4,000 event staff, artists included.
Yeah.
That's a day. That's 4 meals a day. That's a lot of food. We had semi trucks of food coming in every day, and you're cooking like pallets of potatoes. Just one guy's over there peeling all day. That's
Oh,
all
God.
he's doing.
That's it.
All of a sudden, it's
Yeah.
military flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh
Every-
no.
Be in the middle of a motor speedway. I remember making sweet potato bisque, being hungover from the night before, thinking I was going to die because it's 117 degrees. And we're right outside the tent, and the sun's beaming down. I'm a ginger, by the way. So you could smell me burning
Right.
from the Vegas Strip.
I think I smell something bad.
And I was just, all right, I'm going to go sit in the refrigerated truck and not die for.
And not die.
Yeah, it was.
Oh God, yeah. So you guys actually had refrigerator trucks. Like, so instead of a walk-in, you just
It
had
was
like
a refrigerated truck.
hell
And
yeah.
then for a show like that, we'd have 12 of them.
God dang.
One's a produce,
know.
one's all beef, one's all chicken, one's all veg, one's dry goods, one's lined
That's
up.
impressive.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a big event to put on for that many people. And for a lot of the festivals, you would be there for a month because you would have to get there, set up the whole catering tent, build out a whole city, and
How
then
long would that take? About a week?
a
2
day,
weeks? A
like just to
day.
get catering and the bare bones up.
Yeah.
Right. So like
okay.
what we need to actually get started
Let's
and get
stay
people here
warm.
and get the building. So catering goes up first, then everybody else starts to show up. We're able to supply breakfast, lunch, and dinner, food, drinks. You don't have to leave. You can be here to work all day.
That
That's
kind of
it.
reminds me of like a lot of like when I go to Burns and stuff like that. Because like one of the
Right.
first things that we set to do is like we usually have a group of people that gets there like the day before the
To do-
event
yeah.
starts, and by the time we get there, the kitchen, everything like that's
Yeah.
already set up.
We might do
Wow.
that 2 days ahead,
Yeah.
depending on how big the event is. If we've been there, if we know what we're up against. If it's newer, you might take a couple extra times. We were lighting in the bottle in the middle of California, somewhere in wine country.
Okay.
Middle of nowhere, and you just got to build a town. I showered outside for a month in
Ah.
45-degree weather.
Oh,
stand-up
wow.
stalls.
It's cold,
Yeah.
man.
It's a way to wake up.
It's a way to wake up.
Yeah.
You're tired?
Yeah.
You ain't tired no more.
Yeah.
You're ready to make breakfast and get that stove
Oh,
hot.
about
You
it.
were-
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So you
Love
get did it was it wasn't even hot water, I bet, right?
No, there
it
was no
all
hot
cold
water.
water.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't important. And that was also where you
As long as I
see
can splash some water on my nuts,
Yeah.
I'm good.
once the show starts to go on and you get to see that what all your work did. You see it's
Yeah.
cool it's wild. You see all the different characters,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Sean Pauls and other people who show up at
Yeah.
these festivals.
I was like, I've been to
Yeah,
those shows, but
for
I've
sure.
never worked behind the scenes.
Yeah, and they're
Like, I
all
never
out
saw
there
my career
fucked
going
up
that way.
dancing. Every now and then, your boys would peer pressure you, get out there, take some drugs, and go walk the festival and see what's out there. I remember
Right.
getting lost in a forest in Michigan one time. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Glad you found your way back.
Magical forest.
You got
I think it's
lost
called-
in a forest?
Well, the whole
like a real forest.
festival is set up in a forest.
Yes.
Like they literally have DJs and
Yeah.
and tree houses, and they build out. Oh, it's
It's
interesting.
cool.
amazing. I've always wanted
There's
to go.
hundreds
It's
of thousands
on
of people
my
that go
top
to
5
it,
list
you
to go
know,
to this.
And the only time I've ever
Amazing.
done acid, it was the last show night. Bass Nectar, I guess, pretty popular. Yeah,
I know.
yeah, and they influenced me to do some acid, and I went out there and I saw sound and saw people grow, and was like, "Whoa, this is crazy! I'm going to bed."
I love how you put that too. It's like they influenced me.
Yeah, peer
They
pressure.
influenced. Like, let's
They
just, yeah.
influenced their age. I wouldn't have done that.
I
without
saw
them.
sound and I just went to bed. As soon as he said, like, I saw sound,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
I'm seeing sound. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah. It was intense, but yeah, cool experiences with a lot of people you go really close with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were, talking before the show. I had a guy. We had been on the road for a minute. Fucked a spaghetti squash.
Okay. You can't just
Yeah.
you can't just say that.
I know.
Sorry.
I mean, can
You
he?
can,
Can he
no,
not?
you can absolutely
You
just
can.
say it, but I'm just
Everything.
like you got to tell the story.
Use those spaghetti squash to, master.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah. How do you
there
even
was.
come upon
I
something
remember,
like that?
I was maybe third table. I was definitely in the back. Heard the conversation from two people in question, and there was spaghetti squash on the speed rack, and I may have been extra, or we didn't need it, and he started to poke it, and then when boys poke things,
Oh.
that
Was he a
the-
boy? Was he
what?
that young?
Yeah,
Or
well,
was
no,
like
he was
18,
I
17,
was like 25,
25.
26. We're on the road. Didn't get any
Did
for
rent
a
a
while.
car.
It felt good when he poked it.
I
Wanted to poke it with
guess.
something else.
Yeah.
It felt good when he
That's what he
Did he
said.
did he go off and
Into
do
the
it in
bathroom
private? He went to the
with the
bathroom at
squash.
least. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, at least he
excused
did it in
himself.
private.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
there you
private.
go.
No,
I thought he was just back in the dry goods rack. Like,
Nobody
look
wants to
into-
say no.
It's like, is
just
anybody
staring
gonna
at the
notice
doorway?
this?
I'm pretty sure he one of them dared him, and
Okay.
yeah, it was like,
Okay.
that feels good. You won't fuck it? Yeah, well, all right.
This feels
Go
like a
fuck
rite
it.
of passage for chefs.
Yeah.
What?
Getting to
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
your
Fucking
food more
squash.
intimately.
Very organic relationship.
It would have been an initiation.
I know butternut squash inside and out.
Guys, I think I need to get tested. I don't know where that butternut squash has been.
I did find it that it was
the
the
communal squash.
the perfect combo culture of roadies and chefs. It's like so
Yeah.
two of
You know, I
like
was saying that
Yeah.
not too long ago. Like
Yeah.
chefs, like especially in the early days, are still are. You know, what I'm saying like we're the behind the scenes
Right.
rock stars.
so put those two
We
together.
drink just as much,
Yeah.
do just as many drugs, party just as hard
Right. And then
as any rock
take a
star.
chef, put him on
behind
a
the scenes.
put him on a tour with a famous
Yes.
person, then he's really
Oh,
gonna act
man.
like a rock star, right?
It's
Like,
probably a good thing that I never did do any of those tours like that. Became
Yeah.
that type of
yeah,
chef
you would have been a
'cause-
rock star. You would have
Yeah.
been on stage cooking.
Yeah, yeah.
Scoot,
And then
scoot
coming
over,
on
Bon
up, like
Jovi.
Sean Paul. You guys got to meet this chef.
But yeah, it was very cool.
Oh yeah.
And then
Dude,
you just
okay.
went to you went from party on the road like that to golf courses to country clubs.
Yeah, country
That
clubs.
hit the brakes real fast. Huh?
No, I feel like I worked more at the country club than I did on the
Really?
road. Well, you'd get an off day on the road, and you'd either be on the bus or doing something with the crew or in a hotel room where you're off and you don't have to worry about nothing. You know, as a chef,
Yeah,
once you're connected to a building,
yeah, yeah.
you're worried about it all the
Yeah.
time.
At
I'm
brick
worried
and
about my
mortar, yeah.
restaurant right now. You know, they're texting
Right
me
now.
right now.
Yeah.
But so it was my first opportunity to really take ownership and be an executive there. You're paid by the tour. You know, you're just a mercenary chef.
Which was
right?
pretty good money, I'm gonna
Yeah,
guess.
it's
too,
great
right?
money for sure. But you're a mercenary. You're not tied to anything. And then
Yeah.
once you take over a restaurant, now that's your restaurant. Your name's on that.
Yeah.
For then, it was just I didn't have to manage any employees. It was
Nope.
just me. Show up,
Yep.
cook good food, learn, have fun. Yeah, like
Good
the
old
perfect
days.
way to grow as a chef.
Yeah.
As far as learning skill, technique,
Yeah.
timing, all the other things, all the intricate things you need to know about cooking. And then the country club was a chance to build a team. and be a
Okay.
leader
Yeah.
and create a vibe
Yeah.
and a whole culture.
Create a home.
Yeah, create
you
a
know,
home.
It is.
And I was becoming a father at the same time.
Yep.
So I had all the challenges up against me. It was a
yeah.
so I just turned to work and dedicated myself to work. It's like
Yeah.
the right thing to do as a parent, provide. So I did dedicate a lot, and a lot went into it. And country clubs is like having 600 different owners because each one of those members think because they pay
Ah.
that they own
Yeah.
the restaurant. Like
Yeah.
I pay your salary. There's 600 of them out there.
Yeah. Right.
Well, their chicken salad came out a little dry today, and then they don't want to pay your salary. Or you know, you just those. It's usually
entitlements.
It's usually some entitled
Yeah.
people. Like there's great people in there
Of
as well,
course,
but
of
there's some
course.
entitled people. So
we deal with customers
Yeah.
like that all the time.
yeah, and
Even
whenever
in the regular life.
whenever you change the menu at a country club, there's a lot of
Uh-huh.
input. A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
people say you might keep something on the menu for.
Just for
It's
a
like
guest.
having empowered regulars.
Yeah.
So y'all can relate with that.
Yep.
It's like-
yeah, it's actually especially like at a bar and stuff like that right now,
Yeah.
where it's just like they just if they want something
Yeah.
on the menu, we have to keep it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we only sell it like twice a month to
Yeah.
that one person.
I've had to make omelets at 7 p.m. during dinner service because, drunk Larry just got off the course and the only thing he wants to eat is an omelet.
I'm not your wife, Larry. Not.
yeah.
Go home to your wife, Larry,
Yeah.
and make your wife make you fucking omelets.
I mean, if you're a good cook, you would learn to
of course.
use that relationship
Of course. I'll
as
still do it.
a
but
way
it's
to
just like,
benefit.
ugh.
Oh, I know you will. Chicken
I'll still
parm.
do it. Oh,
I know you will.
This guy.
I know you
This
will.
is the chef that got me with that one. Oh,
Yeah, so sometimes that relationship is more beneficial just to make the omelet,
yeah, I know.
get Larry on the way.
Yeah.
So,
what I would
a
do.
lot
I
of
thought I was making
politics,
chicken parm for the
at
owner.
country club. You do get a flex your muscle. We had member guest, which is every country club has it. It's a big tournament, 4 days where the members come and you get to do fancier stuff. And then I did wine
Okay.
dinners. That's where I started with
yeah.
wine dinners and really got to stretch in the restaurant world. And
Okay.
then, where I'm at now.
All right.
That's really
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was so when you left the catering, like when you left the road?
Yeah.
How was it a hard transition? Was it like kind of like a culture shock type thing, like being like used to like this one
No,
lifestyle?
I think
and
I'm
then just
going through
moving
something
over?
more as a man and growing up, being a father, trying to
You were
become a
kinda ready
father.
for it
Okay.
then,
You're like, I don't know if I was. Once you have, you're never ready for kids.
Yeah,
When he
no.
comes out,
Yeah.
you love him immediately,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, my daughter was my inspiration to go to culinary
it did
school.
switched in my brain at that moment.
Like a dad switch.
Yeah.
It was like, no, it's time to come home and provide for your
Yeah.
family.
Cool.
I still keep a lot of those relationships. It's hard to, catch each other because they're in and out going.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those still good long distance relationships
Okay.
where touch base.
Yeah.
I got offers for at least two to 3 years after I got off the road. I'm like, hey,
you still want to come back?
yeah.
You're doing good.
You want to do
Yeah.
a stint? You want to
Yeah,
come for
raising
3
this
months?
family.
I don't know
Yeah.
how's work going,
It's good, baby.
I was like-
Yeah.
So it was always good to, feel appreciated and wanted like that, but it wasn't a tough transition for many reasons. I think more personally than enjoying that lifestyle. I did about 4 years sober during that lifestyle.
Okay.
My father was a horrible alcoholic, and I've always been very cognizant of it for me. So it got to a point where I needed to check myself in life. And it was, as that lifestyle was beginning and progressing,
Uh-huh.
it was like, you have a decision to make here. Keep partying, and you're not going to make it through this. Or,
You can't just go around fucking spaghetti squash.
Yeah.
You just can't.
yeah,
Sorry.
Can't. You gotta grow up
Wasn't-
someday. Yeah.
wasn't me.
Dang it.
Wasn't me.
Or even associating with people that fuck
That's
spaghetti
your story.
squash.
Yes,
also.
but those are the type of
Those are
people.
the people you associate with.
You're
I mean,
right. You're right.
You are your friends.
You are. That's what they say, at least. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
fucking spaghetti squash.
Exactly.
I would fuck.
So yeah, it wasn't a tough transition, and I got to immediately start working on something for myself during that. So
So
Hell
again,
yeah.
back to Zach's question, though. You never really said the craziest thing you've ever made. I know what mine is, and I bet you guys.
Yeah, like
It touches based on omelet. I made a spaghetti omelet one time.
huh?
and it's actually
What do you mean a spaghetti omelet? What does that
you
mean?
make an omelet and you fill it with spaghetti left over from the night before.
Okay. I thought you were somehow making the omelet out of spaghetti. I was like, what did you do to the spaghetti?
Yeah.
You just dissolved it in like some water.
Trying to go.
Put it in a blender, cooked it.
Trying to go back to my catalog. There was a lot that we made. A lot of good stuff. I don't know if I have a favorite per se. There was a salmon dish with mustard, stuffed with spinach that I made, and a famous artist ran into the kitchen. Who made the salmon? And my heart sank. And
no.
Your hand halfway goes up. That was the best fucking salmon I've ever had in my life. Little British accent.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You live for those moments.
That's exactly what we do.
I daydream about that moment.
Right.
I still haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah, well, it never happened enough for me to confidently raise my hand because I was like, what's wrong with it? Like, what's wrong?
It's hard. I think even like now these days, like if somebody runs into a room and is just like, who made this? It's going to be like,
and he did
no
it.
matter what, you're like, I don't know if I should be doing this.
He did it knowing who he was and what it looked like coming in. Right? He was very cognizant of that. So there was that dish. And then I know at the festivals, we'd always do like cooking competitions. So everybody would make the dishes they're supposed to make for service. And the leaders, like the owner, a couple other guys, they would be the judges. And I won $120 one night making rice pilaf and chicken paprikash, which is a Hungarian dish.
So you can do all this on the road.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's what impresses me is because like you're able to like basically just go out there, set up a kitchen from scratch, and then just make these amazing dishes like that.
Yeah, and this was, I mean, you do it from everything in a choir room to a dressing room, next to a janitor stall, in a bathroom, in the hall of Boston TD Waterhouse. Like, it's always big arenas, and the last thing they think about when they build an arena is catering.
Oh,
that's not what's in their head.
Yeah.
It's like we got to feed thousands of people, but you know what?
Yeah.
Let's don't worry about that.
Their hope,
figure it out.
Their hope is always, in very few cases, you'll find where the concessions company is ran really well, and they might do catering for some of those shows. But it very rarely happens because the guys doing chicken tenders and fries are not going to be feeding the talent and the sound guys.
No.
They will get tired of that real quick, and you will no longer have a show.
Because they need rice pilaf.
Yeah.
They deserve
rice pilaf.
That's what they deserve.
Right. So it was moments like that in your chef career where you're going through and you're like, I'm doing the right thing. I have the talent. You're building the palate. You're building all the skills, techniques, constantly developing. Don't be a meathead and tell someone to shut up. They don't know what they're talking about. Listen. Listen to everybody. Give everybody the ear. And keep your head down when you're young. Work hard. It'll pay off later.
You hear that, young chefs? It does pay off.
Yep.
I got to steal that line. Got the talent and feeding the palate.
Yeah, baby.
That is pretty good.
For anyone that's listening, do you have any advice for anyone that after hearing this crazy life you've had on the road, I have no idea how anyone would get into such a position. It sounds like kind of like the trades where you hire on to either these unions.
Show
or
up
I was like, was it unionized? Like, did you? Like,
but these are on the road. There's no back door at a restaurant you walk into and say, hey, I want to cook for bands.
Yeah,
on
and
tour.
you're not allowed to go through the side door of the arena, right? It's kind of guarded and blocked off.
you
tell
make
that
your
to Sean,
content?
okay? Like seriously, this guy would do it. He would find a way.
Any advice?
So I guess you would hang around a concert. I was, my good buddy, his mom was a runner. Right?
So that was your end.
Well, my mentor, and my father's godson was the owner of the company who did not tour, but he did this locally. So as bands came in, if you did not have a tour caterer with you, it would be bidded out.
Okay.
Right. So he would bid with 2 or 3 other companies for the concert. And so I got an internship with him, started in the dishwasher, worked one day in the dish pit. I think it was Bruce Springsteen concert, worked it in the dish pit. And that was the last time I worked in the dish pit.
Wow.
One and done.
Wow. One day.
No, as an executive chef, I've worked other times in the dish pit.
That doesn't count.
Like,
Still,
but
I spent a year in the dish station.
My career in the dish. I was just got some dishes done and then went over and prepped something and showed him I could cut. Like Go do the
Nice.
other guy's job. You want his job?
Yeah.
go do his job.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
So you
yeah.
didn't even ask. You just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I
no,
see that needs to get
asked,
done.
You
so
need help?
Oh, okay.
Come on. Asking you as a chef. If
Yeah.
somebody asks you need help, all right, I got something. Cut onions, anything, right?
Yep.
It depends sometimes.
So don't
Yeah.
turn down a
Yeah.
job just because it's not exactly what you want to do. Get your in and then
And
show
go get- yes.
that you can do the things you want
Yes.
to do.
So if you're trying to get in a position like that, start low. Find somewhere, get in the dish, be a runner. Do
Yeah.
whatever you can do and show
Yeah.
work ethic. Talk, be social. Well, use your social
Mhm.
skills and hard work and be smart. Stay out of the way. Don't get in the way because you could very easily be trying to help and get in the way.
Don't do
We
too
know
many
those
drugs.
people.
Yeah. That's
Don't
what
do-
I was saying. It's
Yeah.
like, it depends. Like
Yeah.
when someone's like, can I help? And I'm like, I don't think you should be the one to help.
So yeah, I would
Help by
don't
shutting
aim
the
for the
fuck
head
up.
chef's job. Aim for the dishwasher job. Show them that you can work hard.
Yeah.
I've definitely moved people out of my dish pit into the kitchen.
Hell yeah.
And I've moved people from the IT world into my kitchen. I've retired people out of my kitchen. Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
just working hard, enjoying. I would say if you're going to do this as a career and you're going to provide for your family, you should probably have a passion for it. Back of house, if you want to be
Yeah.
in upper management or be a chef that runs a kitchen, you should probably have a passion for it
Yeah.
because you're going to work a lot and you need to kind of like it.
Mm.
If you don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just find something else because
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt and you're going to end up getting really resentful. I feel like,
Absolutely. So that's my advice.
That's good. Have you ever seen? I feel
These
like this
nuts.
isn't a thing, but are there these like traveling bartenders, for lack of a better word? Like,
Yeah.
do you ever have artists or like I like?
Yeah, like what's the
No,
what's
but
like the
front of
services
house, the front of house is usually the dressing room people who'll go do the setup, and they'll also set up the dining room that we
Okay.
travel with, all the Schaefers,
Wow.
juicer there. So they're the point of contact for all the tour people who they're in the dining room when tour's eating. They're refreshing all the food, loading up new
Yeah.
food. Usually we'll fill up a hot box. We'll be anywhere from 100 yards away to 400 yards away. Fill up a hot box. They'll roll it down to the dining room. Dining room will do any kind of cold prep they can. There's usually a dish area on site up at the dining room and one in the kitchen. So it's satellite. You always have walkie-talkies. You're always on a headset. You're able,
Wow.
hey, we need a refresh on chicken.
Yeah.
So I'll
Mm.
fire my Pepper Cache, get 4 more pans, 8 more pans, depending on the size,
Yep.
load it up, send
Yep.
it down. I'll probably have sauce on the stove, staying warm, freshen it
Yep.
up every time I'm
Yep.
panning up new chicken. And then there's dish guys running, washing pans, bringing them back to
Man.
us, circle.
Mm.
It was great because everything
Chaos, but
the-
beautiful chaos.
in this
Mhm.
kitchen, mise en place is so much more important because it all has to be
Oh,
packed
yeah.
up,
Oh yeah.
cleaned up
Mhm.
nicely,
Yeah.
put on a truck,
Yeah.
and then unloaded and know where everything is
Yes.
tomorrow when we land in
Yes.
Orlando or when we wake up in Orlando.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now go ahead.
I'm sorry. Like, what do you do with like the I was about
Back
to
to
ask.
back?
It's like so it's like if you still have food left over because like you said you went shopping every time
Yeah.
you show up to a new city.
So you know those
What do
local
you-
helpers? They
What?
usually get the local helpers who would
Yeah.
come wash dishes or help prep a little food for us. They took home all the extra food.
Oh, what?
As I
Damn.
was
All right.
Jackpot.
we call them locals when you're on
Yeah.
tour. And
The local
Yeah.
yokels.
So when I did have a good like 2-3 years where I was the local connect for a lot of the arenas downtown, and I got a lot of that food.
Oh yeah,
Or,
dude.
Yeah.
But at the same time, while I was being a local for them, I was also running a catering company. When Tour Caterer wasn't in town, we were the caterer. So I just used that food for my catering company.
Yeah.
We were just,
Oh wow, so you would actually you kind of save some money that way.
oh yeah.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah, dude, that's
It was-
awesome.
Yeah. We definitely found a way to save every penny we could. Yeah.
Damn.
So it was
Nice.
a industry where you only really worked for 9 months out of the year, maybe
Huh.
during the winter, shows outdoors not really going on. There's a few big acts going around. A lot of the smaller comedy tours aren't going to need a tour caterer because it's only like 30 people on tour. There's no stage set up. Only like one sound guy. Might be a production manager, tour manager. Very light. A couple video guys, couple sound guys. So they just order them food or find cheaper ways to feed them, or they hire a local caterer. a lot of those times we would go in and just do dinner and dressing rooms. We'd make them dinner and do dressing rooms. So they learned to cut their cost a little bit there. And as a caterer, there's a lot of the smaller ones, like 50, we wouldn't even touch because we're busy doing something else, or it's not worth the time to unload everything and get set up for 15 heads, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think our minimum back then was 25, I think was the minimum. And that would be for a small, 25 people.
25 people. Okay.
Yeah, where we're going to charge you per person.
I thought you maybe had so you just had a head minimum, not a budget minimum.
Yeah, we would use both. It was like, budget, it's got to be $3,500 minimum, and that would be just a dinner service, or it's got to be 25 people minimum.
Yeah.
And we'll come do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 25 people. Ended up being somewhere from like $5,000 to $7,000, depending on how the dressing room rider was built out, how much specific stuff they were ordering in the dressing rooms. But each show was different. When we were local, we could propose a menu every time when you get out to bid. Yeah. So constantly creating new catering and banquet menus, and it was a challenge. It was good.
Did you ever see anything really weird on a rider?
Yes. Unicorn meat.
What?
Yes.
Okay, is that a thing?
To be butchered day of. No, it was a joke. Not by me, but it was actually on the rider.
Okay, so they were just fucking with you.
Yeah. And then, then everybody knows about the M&M story. Like one color M&Ms, and what else was?
Wait, were you there for that one, or that was before your time?
That was. I think I may have brushed up against it because a lot of those '90s tours were still going around, and they had the same rider every year. Yeah, same exact rider.
They never changed.
They might. Well, one guy may have stopped drinking, and they take alcohol out of his room. But a lot of those were the best ones to do. The worst ones to do were the new, hot, up and coming people, because they wanted everything. Do you know who I am? The guys have been on tour for 12 years. They're like, just give me to the next city. Yeah, just putting on another show, another night, and you see it. If you did an artist multiple times, you'd see it throughout their career. Maybe tour 1 was like, damn, that sucked. Tour 3, they're like, he's got it figured out. We're rolling. He's professional. We're putting on good shows. Everybody's having a good time. It's a good vibe.
They calm down.
Right.
Yeah. And they figure, oh, the party's over. Like, it was new. It was,
now I'm at work.
Yeah. It was a party every night for a while. Now it's a job. Let's make this as efficient, quick as possible. I have other things to do.
Did you see a difference between genres of music?
Oh, yeah.
And those artists?
Yeah. I don't think I would dive too deep into that.
Okay, heard.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yes.
Oh no.
In the industry, for off the record.
In the industry, you knew what kind of genres you wanted to stay away from, or if you saw that on your calendar coming up, you were like, you definitely knew. So,
by the time of year to break my leg.
Yeah. I'll be out of service on a different tour. Oh boy. So yeah, you could definitely, and not to be prejudiced or anything. It's just, it is what it is.
It's just like a level of demanding.
Yeah. Yep. A level of demanding, a level of professionalism. Like me speaking. Yeah. So it
been
grows.
Working with Sean too long.
Yeah. And you see it, and you learn as you become a veteran, and the rest of you guys do, and you're like, stay away from those. And then there's a lot that tours that get desired. Like, people do want to do those tours because they're easy money. Like, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna be in and out. I think we were talking about back to back. So let's say we're in Atlanta tonight. I did breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dinner usually goes out 5 or 6 o'clock. Most shows start around 7 or 8. So everybody wants to be fed and focused on the show. Yeah. There might be some after show food. Sometimes it's catering's responsibility. Sometimes they'll order from local spots. Okay. I say more than not, they'll order from a local spot. It's like, because the caterer needs to get dinner out. Dinner is usually over around 8:30 at the latest. It was kind of really common with the whole, no matter where we went out west, it would, with the time it would change, but it was 5 to 8, 8:30. We're closing down. We'll make boxes of food for everybody if they need to get a last bite to eat. We pack it up, probably packed up and clean by 10, 10:30. Show's usually still going on. If we got a show going on tomorrow, we're gone before they even thought about being over.
Oh, wow. Into the next city.
Oh, wow. So you just got to be there first.
Yeah, just catering's gone.
Yep.
So you show up, everybody get on the bus. We take a shower on the bus. danger shower, I think we used to call it. I don't know. what we-
Danger shower.
But yeah, you can get to
Try.
moving. So everybody can
Hit a
take,
pothole. Next thing you know, it's like,
everybody real quick, take turns
With
taking
broken
showers.
dick.
a broken dick. What? Why?
'Cause you got slammed up against the shower wall.
Are you like okay? Yeah.
I
Are
had
you like
to squash.
masturbating in the showers?
Yeah.
Like, why are you erect
You don't.
hard
You're trying to get
enough
too much done
break
at
your
once.
dick? Why are you hard enough to break your dick?
I think you know why.
pretty hard.
Do I really have to explain
But
it
when
to
you're
you?
on a tour bus with mostly other guys and maybe one or other, you're probably not hard. But anyway, so
Hey, speak for yourself.
as you leave, you normally leave one or two employees behind with you to also take care of dressing rooms or any last minute needs, and they ride with some of the actual production crew. So those are the ones we talked about earlier, the crossover. They end up liking them and they take a production job the next tour. So they usually build a relationship. They're close. He stays late. He watches the show. He's here to help us load out everything they need. He gets on the truck. We're in the next city. We're usually getting off the truck and loading in by 5:30, and have breakfast ready by 7. So the buses from the tour usually pull up about 7 a.m. and the first people you get are the bus drivers and truck drivers.
Wow.
Usually bigger guys
Yeah.
rolling
Okay.
in
Yeah.
hungry because they
Yeah.
just stayed up all night
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
And
just
those
want
are
to
the-
eat and sleep.
So-
Those are
Yeah.
the boys you want to feed too, because
no,
I got
no,
you, Big
those
Jim.
are the ones that annoy you
Oh,
because
really?
you're still waking up. You're tired as hell. You just
Yeah,
polished one off last night.
yeah.
Buddy's in here talking about sausage gravy and biscuits. You're like, bro, shut up. I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying not to throw up over these scrambled eggs right now. Like, I do not need to hear you talking about some sausage
Why
biscuits.
you
and
bringing
gravy.
up that?
Yeah, and they're
Alright.
usually loud and like, "Where's my breakfast?" Oh, I got and always whining about sitting down all day.
Yeah.
So,
Then stand up.
look at me. I'm being
Driving a
they're
bus,
driving
huh?
a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're driving a truck. They can't really stand up. We complain about standing up
No,
all
I'm
day.
saying is like if they're sitting there
sitting
complaining
down.
about sitting down all day, then stand the fuck up. You're not on the bus anymore.
Oh yeah, when they complain about it, they're definitely sitting down in their chair and catering,
Oh,
yeah,
eating.
it's like-
Like,
Like why are you complaining? Just
Yeah.
eat it.
stand up.
Eat it.
Eat
Eat
while
while
standing.
standing.
There you
Eating
go.
while standing. Come on, you have a whole show
Right.
named after what you should be doing.
So we
That's how
roll
we
in.
eat on a daily basis.
We roll in, new city. We've already got it going. Production, everybody else shows up. The artist usually doesn't even come around the building till closer to showtime. Some of them do if they got a lot
Yeah.
to do. It all,
They're-
difference
they
from
get the
artist
chance
to
to
artist.
sleep it off all night long.
yeah. And then they're up at 6
Yeah.
and they come in,
Yeah.
eat dinner, and go
And then
perform.
do I really want to eat right now?
Yeah.
No.
So that's like 48 hours in tour caterer's life right there.
Yeah. Wow.
And usually you do maybe at most 5 shows a week.
Okay.
And
Dude,
That-
that's
that-
a lot.
That's
That's
a
yeah,
a
but
lot.
sometimes you hit like 2
That's
in
a
New York,
lot.
1 in New Jersey, skip a day, go Philly, Baltimore, skip another day, maybe a 2-day break, and then go hit the next place.
Yeah, that's you
Yeah.
just
Wow.
sleeping on a bus the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then most time, like I said, we elected if it was a day off, they'd usually buy you a hotel room, but we could also keep the money they were going to spend on the hotel room, and we
Most
we didn't
likely
mind
did.
each
Yeah.
other. Maybe if you were
Yeah.
on a long one, but usually after a tour like that, I would get a festival gig and I would go be in one spot for a month or 3 months.
Well, no, I probably would mind a little bit more if I was riding with Sean and he's breaking his dick in the bathroom
Yeah.
just because somebody hit a pothole.
I mean,
There's like
I
8
don't
holes
think-
in the shower by show 10. It's like, Sean, put that thing
there's
away.
cracks in the shower now.
You got those desert jellies.
Why is there a spaghetti squash in the back of the shower?
Also,
Leave
no
it alone.
no pooping on the bus.
Right?
No pooping on the bus?
Is
that's
that a
not-
rule?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that has to be.
No
a rule.
pooping on the bus.
No pooping on
No
the
poop
bus.
on
So
the
when you
bus.
guys are like going long roads, like you're like, stop the bus, I have to take it
No,
down.
usually, well,
You
yes.
schedule it,
Like,
you know,
if it's a day
schedule it.
off, like, you talk to your bus driver, they're usually pretty cool. It's like, hey, what time are we stopping? Between this time. I have had to do a hot bag before.
What?
What?
What does that mean?
You
I
bag the
think you
toilet.
know what that means.
You bag the toilet, you go, you
Mhm.
throw it up the window. That's the emergency button.
Oh God!
This
It would
bus is not
suck if you were in
stopping. We
traffic.
gotta
It would suck
schedule
if
it.
you were in
I
traffic,
think it's
right?
hit Sean Carr one time. Sean's like, I remember one night driving down I-75,
Right?
a bag in my window.
Bag of shit was hitting my window. Damn.
Yeah,
it's-
so you try not to do that. It's not proper. It smells bad, even if so. The rule was generally don't.
That's
Don't do
a
it.
thing.
Don't do it. Yeah.
That is a thing that exists, and I
Yeah.
love it.
We have to be efficient, and we need to get to where we're going, and we have no time for your poop.
No.
No time for your
Yeah,
poop.
or
No
the
time for
smell.
your
Really,
poop.
just the smell.
So you
I
can't
don't
pull
know.
over. You can't do anything. You're just pooping into a
bag.
Ziploc bag in a toilet.
Yeah, a hot
Grocery
bag.
bag.
Or grocery bag, yeah.
Yeah.
Hot bag.
Yeah, Ziploc bag.
You got good aim there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You
He's
know,
got a
Sandwich
solid
bag.
diet, my man.
Not even a
it takes
gallon
practice.
size.
It takes practice.
I should be the one with practice, but he's practice.
Plenty of chests. Just paint targets on them.
All right, boys. I think we need to wrap it up, though. It's been
Yeah,
about
you got
time.
service to go to, don't
Yeah,
you?
we gotta get
I
him out of
do.
here.
I have dinner service to go to. I'd love to stay
Yes.
longer. I think we have a lot more we could hit on, but that was a
Yep.
good time, guys.
I think
I
this
was a good
appreciate
time.
y'all having me.
Thank you, thank you,
I,
Chef.
like reaching out to our community and just giving my stories. That was fun.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes.
Absolutely. Chef Brian, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Chef Brian.
Hey, hey.
You know what I'm
Should
saying?
we?
Know what I'm saying? I'm
All right,
clocking
clocking
out.
out, y'all. Ship's over.
Later, y'all.
Cuddles.
I'm off the clock. Is it beer time yet?
Yes.
All right.
It's beer o'clock, baby. Please welcome Chef Brian.
Yeah. What's up, Chef?
And that's it. That's it. We've got it.